Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy weekend, happy Saturday, not Sunday, happy Saturday morning. I hope we're all okay. I hope we are all right, and obviously we're all quite happy that the Premier League's back. Obviously, Premier League came back last night for. I'm going to put this as frank and as nice as possible. A very, very dreadful game of football team, Man United and Fulham. Man United not looking very good as per, but get the results. Yeah, I won't lie. I was happy. I didn't put Bruno Fernandes in my fantasy football team. In this video, there we're talking about, a couple of different people reporting on Spurs' next moves, position-wise, what they're thinking. We were talking about Eze and his release clause. There's Celso in interest from abroad. We're going to be talking Manor Solomon. We're going to be talking loads of people. You'll see what I mean when I get to it. Don't worry. Just want to say that if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. But on fantasy football, I had Lisandro Martinez in my team. I took him out for someone else, and that has backfired. Morning, Polly. How are we? Yeah, Polly's got this idea that I'm son of Ange. There we go. Morning, Spurs. Morning, Dan, Brandon, Michael, Chris. How are we all? I do think Oda Bear will bring something good to us indeed. Right, let's jump in. Let's talk some stuff. So I'm going to start with... I can start with Celso because it's on the screen. So reports coming out stating, and we've spoke about Celso earlier on this week, and we spoke about how Mourinho is keen on him. Now, obviously, if you're not sure where Mourinho is right now, he's over in Turkey for Fenerbahce. I believe Fenerbahce didn't qualify for the Champions League because they were going through the qualifying process. Are they in the Europa League with us now? You know what's about to happen if we got Fenerbahce. You know what's about to happen. But it came out saying that Fenerbahce is still working on a deal to sign Giovanni Celso. Mourinho has personally approved the signing of the midfielder, which, hey, if Fenerbahce want to give us a few quids, I'm all on board. I'm all on board with it. But, yeah, I'm more so hoping they're going to take Sergio Reguilon from me, to be honest. Well, from me, from us, from the club. How about you take both? Hey, take both. I know that Mourinho doesn't mind Reguilon. So take a double deal. Take a double deal. Yeah, do us a favour. It speeds up our process and finishes off nearly finishes off of our departures, Morning, Hogan, mate. How are we? Now that I've seen what Wilson's like. Yeah, we go, Les. Morning, Les. Morning, Pedro. How many players will get to double figures and who comes out on top? Pedro, put me on the spot in about 10 minutes time because we've got so much to talk about, but I will answer it. Put me on the spot in about 10 minutes time. All right. Yeah. Morning all. Teddy, let me know. Do they drop into the Europa League? Can you let me know, mate? Cheers. Morning, Kulu's elusive right foot. We won't be selling Kulu, so your name is safe, my friend. Morning, Sonia. How are we? Any good news about Manor Solomon? Haven't got to it yet, Chris. Hold up. So look, on Fenerbahce's interest in Gio, I'm all for it. They're a European side. You got a good chance of winning the Turkish league. Mourinho being there and all. Just don't sign yourself a long-term deal because he won't be there long-term. Sign yourself like a 2-year deal. Bingo bango. And then, if you're Celso, obviously in your late 20s, you can still get yourself, another European move, an MLS move. Hell, Saudi will no doubt come sniffing in no time. They always do. I think, is it Saudi that are sniffing around Dybala at the moment? I saw that. I don't know about the... Yeah, I think maybe they drop into the Europa League because they failed to qualify for the Champions League. I'm not too sure. Good for Celso, but it could do better. Yeah, potentially could do better, but for Spurs, it's all about what money we can get out of that deal. You know what I mean? In the nicest way possible. Not going to be mean about it. A little bit of an update, just quickly, because I saw this one as well from Mike McGrath talking about Jack Clark, and I bring this in. Nothing to do with us signing Jack Clark or anything like that. We obviously have a sell-on clause. I think it's around 30% for Jack Clark. And Mike McGrath saying, Leeds well aware of Jack Clark in their search for winger have come through the ranks plus loan back. Sunderland forward also has Premier League interest this window as one to watch before the window closes. So look, nothing that we're going to be signing, but in terms of just recuperating a few extra million, that will be one that we will get a few extra million out of, which is good. It's obviously we sold him for cheap, but, we can hopefully make some money back. There was a rumour that Gio could go to Roma to replace Dybala. I haven't seen that, Callum. I haven't seen that, but, I don't hate it for him, that's for sure. Manor Solomon flavoured news. So Simon Jones from Mail Sport kind of just reiterating what we've already spoken about, saying that Manor Solomon is set to depart Spurs on loan in the near future. And a lot of people are sort of like, oh, why don't we give him a chance? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Like I've always said, with Solomon, I'm not saying he's good, bad, average, world class, or worse than me at football. What I'm saying with Solomon's situation is Spurs want to be able to give him minutes. Spurs want him to get up to form. Spurs won't be able to give him that time. He needs quite constant, regular minutes to get back up to match speed. We won't be able to give him that time. So get him out on loan, let him rebuild that. He might even come back in January, but if not, he comes back next summer. And if he does really well and Spurs quite like him, then we hold on to him. If they don't, we cash in, we make a few quid on him. I'm all for this move. Obviously, with the situation now of our squad when it comes to European places, Solomon is going to most likely be a casualty, as will Lo Celso, as will Reguilon. He's good enough for a good move as well. It's not like it's not like I'm expecting him to go to like Ligue 1 and a really average team in the French league. He could easily get a really decent loan for Solomon. He played for Fulham for quite extensively. He's played for us. He's good enough to play for a mid-table Premier League team, maybe just below mid-table. You know what I mean? Like, he's good enough to get that, and I think he will get himself a decent loan move. How will he handle Turkey? The Premier is one of the most physical leagues in the world, mate, and it's also not just like the physicality; it's the intensity of the game as well. Man on these minutes, agreed. Get him to a top flight team on loan, agreed. Teddy's talking about career modes. I gave up with FIFA, Teddy. It was rubbish. Morning, Tony. How are we, mate? So look, there's that on one Manor Solomon. Jumping over to Jamie Donley, just give you the update on that. Jamie Donley's actually signed a new contract until the summer of 2029 and has joined Leyton Orient on loan for this season. Buzzing for Jamie. I think it's going to be a really, really good move for him. Looking at Leyton Orient, they play in just under 2 hours away to Charlton. There you go, away to Charlton. How'd they get on in their first game? Well, they lost. That's good. They lost 2-1. I don't know who they played, but they lost 2-1. Look, I still think it's going to be a good move for him. Regular minutes in League One is never a bad thing. He might do what Devine does, where obviously he was at Port Vale, had a very good first 6 months of the loan spell, called him back, moved him to the Championship. Obviously, the situation with Plymouth at the time was pretty dire, if I'm honest. So I felt for him, but it's still Championship football that Devine got. In terms of Donley, I think he'll be superb in League One. I could see a situation where he gets loaned in January to the Championship, if I'm honest. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. There were Championship sides that were keen on him. So that could return in January, especially if he does very well at Leyton Orient. So I think he'll do well. But also, hey, he got himself a new deal. So congratulations to him as well. Yeah, morning, Donna. There you go. Happy the Premier League's back. Yes, so am I. I'm looking forward to 12:30. Ipswich versus Liverpool. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching that. That's for sure. I cannot wait. So look, we'll see about Donley's progression. Obviously, every Tuesday, once the transfer window's sort of finished and all the loans have been sort of finalized, every Tuesday, as you know, if you've been a sort of subscriber for this channel for a while, every Tuesday we do a loan roundup. So we'll still be doing that coming into this season. We're talking about all the players out on loan, obviously Donley being one. I won't really talk about Højbjerg, but we'll talk about Vuskovic, obviously out in Belgium. We'll talk about a lot of those guys. All right, so it gives you an idea of how they're getting on. You like Adrian Truffer? Oh, I'll check him out, mate. Fulham didn't look terrible. Yeah, honestly, I genuinely think this. If Adama Traore was like 10% better at using the ball, genuinely he'd be world class. It's ridiculous what he can do. Would Locatelli be a good fit for Spurs? It's not my cup of tea, but as we all agree, if Ange wants someone, we want someone. He's missed a few. He's missed a few. Yeah, I've missed some chats. They've been a bit quick this morning, so I've missed a few. Apologies. Very good morning to you, Ray. How are you, mate? You right? Yeah, Don, it is oversized. Should be a good game. Yeah, should be a good game for sure. Should be a good game for sure. Moving on. Let's talk Eberechi as a flavoured news. So if you weren't aware, yesterday his release clause of 60 million plus 8 million on add-ons actually expired. It was yesterday, late afternoon, early evening. Now, I don't foresee for a second Spurs getting or going for Eze this window. Just was a too difficult a deal. You know, obviously Elise moving to Bayern Munich, you know, Mark Guehi's situation where he may go to Newcastle, although they may be moving on with that idea. It was always going to make that deal really, really difficult for Spurs. I mean, them wanting, you know, minimum 50, 55, 60 million up front. It's not feasible for any club to be doing such a thing. It just doesn't happen in the world of football. Your big boys don't do it. You might say Saudi might do it because obviously they don't care for financial fair play, but you know what I mean? It's just not what it happens in football. So it's one of those things, as much as, you know, I sat here all summer going, I really want Eze. I still do, but I understand the transfer and I'm not angry about it because I do truly understand the situation. You know, it's not ideal, but it's one of those things. You know what I mean? Seems like a lot of talk for Locatelli. Haven't got to him yet, Rob. Spelling wasn't too far wrong. Don't worry, mate. Going to be signings off the radar again, potentially. Not Kante, definitely not. Man United lucky again. Man United were lucky again. They were not very good yesterday. So moving on to a little bit of Locatelli news, because a few of you have been sort of chatting about it, and I thought, wow, I better bring it in now. So Peter O'Rourke, Football Insider. Now, Football Insider, I always take with a pinch of salt, but you know what? Recently, they've been getting a lot of things right, so I will give them that credit. But he said that Spurs are plotting a move to sign Manuel Locatelli from Juventus. Now, look, he's not my cup of tea, personally. I don't truly think he's had the best spell at Juventus. Obviously, he came into Juventus, I think, with such a mystique that he was going to turn into the next big Italian midfielder. I don't think it truly happened. Now, could that be a situation where Juventus weren't very good over that time? Potentially. You know, obviously they've gone through a few different managers. There's also that situation you have to take into account. The style of football was very negative and very, very awful, to be honest. You know, it's similar to what we played under Mourinho and Conte. You know, obviously we're playing now a whole different brand of football in Ange ball. Could it work? Yes. Will it work? I'm not sure, if I'm honest. You know, I think I know Basuma is a hot topic. Some people like him, some people don't. Bentancur, the same. People saying sell Sarr. Please stop saying that. That's ridiculous, you to even think that. And if we're selling Sarr, then I want stupid money. Absolute stupid money for him, which no one's going to pay for him. But would he give us something a bit different? And then people kind of saying, oh, just sell Skip. I don't think they truly understand what happens in European football in terms of what you can do with your squads. You kind of need players like Skip because it allows you to bring in more players for your European squads. If Spurs are to move off of Skip, it's because they're going to get a really, really good offer. They're not going to sell him for 10, 15 million because actually that's just not worth it. You're going to be talking 20 plus, in my opinion, for it to be worth it. And it's not because I think Skip is a world beater. He's the best midfielder in the world. I'm actually thinking of what it means for the rest of the Spurs squad. It allows you so much more freedom and flexibility. So with Locatelli, I don't know. I'm not sure. But if Ange wants him, Ange wants him. I think I'll be keen to see. I'm just going to bring up transfer market and what they value him at. He's 26. God, he's younger than me. It feels ridiculous when I talk about players that are younger than me. They reckon he's valued at 28 million euros. Interesting. Okay. Contract expires the summer of 2028. So look, he's going to be costing 30 odd 40 million, I reckon. Probably could do better. Use the data system, could probably do better. Joshua, how are you? Our winger would be great. I don't see any rants because, as I said, Rafinha came from Leeds. Well, there you go, Kamagoo, mate. How are you, mate? You right? Dr. Gonzo, how are we? Oh, Steve, that's it. Steve, how are you, Steve? You right, mate? Kone and Dorgu for me. People still saying Celso. Yeah, people are saying Celso. And they are donuts. Loco ruptured his Achilles. Did he? Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible if he has. Look, I was, I want Dorgu. That was the guy that I always wanted. But you know what I always said? I was like, Loco's a talent as well. And if it was Loco that we got, I'd be very happy. But that's horrible if he has. It's a really nasty injury. It's probably one of the worst ones you can get. And I've done my ACL and I know how that feels. I thought Locatelli was 29. That's what I mean. I don't want the club to turn into a Brighton type club where we buy and young and sell for profit. Hopefully we're rebuilding and not planning for a business venture. Well, hopefully so. We never want that. We never want that. Right, yeah. I've just seen the Roma interest in Giovanni Celso. So Roma are interested in Giovanni Celso to replace Paulo Dybala. I mean, I think it's come from Argentina. He's got over 3 million followers on Twitter. Impressive. But Spurs supposedly want 15 million euros. So we'll call that 12 million pounds, something like that. Probably about right, if I'm honest. It's probably about right. Villa and Betis remain keen on signing him too. Well, if Villa want him, I want more than that. Tottenham should go for Cancelo, plays right back and left back. I don't think we'll be going for a Cancelo. We would be. Sorry, Michael. We would be a offer of 25 million for Skip's probably what they would accept. Sarr isn't all that though. He's okay, but isn't special. But he's young, Brandon. Do you think he's like in his prime and this is as good as he's going to get? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking Sarr over. Give me another young midfielder. I'll take Sarr over him for what he does for us. And again, it's about fit. Sarr may not be as good as another youngster in their system, but in our system, I love Pape. And do you know what? That night, being the best midfielder in Milan, and then Newcastle signing Milan's best midfielder for 70 million made me realise what he's worth more than 70 million. Morning, Andy. We are making moves, but why was Fabrizio Romano going on with we're getting Eze this day, next tomorrow, next week, blah, blah, blah? Well, there's that to be fair. Morning, Stephen. How are you? Skip. There you go. No, I do not want Chilwell. Callum, I don't want Chilwell. Whenever I watch England play and I have to watch Chilwell, it makes me truly appreciate how amazing Destiny is. The drop-off from Destiny to Chilwell will be huge for our squad. Plus, Chilwell just can't defend. We need our fullbacks to be able to get back, but also be able to defend in space, which, wait for someone to go, Porro can't defend in space, and even though his stats prove that he can. Sarr has shown quality. Like, without him in midfield, sometimes we look sluggish, and he's a workhorse, yeah. I bloody love Pape. He'll be world-class. I hope so. Sarr is irreplaceable at the moment as a squad player. True. Have you seen that there we land post from Spurs? Oh, right. Yeah. There we land. Yeah. I do rate that. The parodies of the here we go is brilliant. Good to see, Stephen. Mainu. Again, I take Pape for what we need from our position in midfield. And actually, statistically wise, if you look, he's better than Mainu. And I've always said that I'd prefer Sarr over him. Again, it's about fit. It's not about the player. And I've always said I'd rather 11 players that fit what Ange wants from Ange than 11 players that are world-class but don't fit, because it's not going to work. Mainer's a good player, but I'm still taking Sarr. I'm still taking Sarr every day of the week. Moving on. Let's talk. Right, what's next for Spurs? What is next from Spurs? So I've got two reporters, and when I say the names of them, you're going to sit up and you're going to listen. I know you will. Because one's Paul O'Keefe, one's Alistair Gold. Let's start with Alistair Gold first. So via his YouTube, he said, in terms of chances, I still think there'll be another couple. Now, hey, that sounds pretty damn good to me. That sounds pretty damn good to me. I'll take another couple at Spurs. Now, I'm querying as to how they will fit with the European squad side of things, unless one of them is an academy-trained player that they're buying, which, hey, Marcus Edwards, Kyle Walker-Peters, that's the two that you're going to be looking at, right? You've got Spence at right back. At left back, you've really got Davies or Mickey van der Ven. That's really what the two left backs are, unless some reason they play Oliver Skip there, which, look, Skip was decent there, but decent is the best I'm going to give you out of that. Kyle Walker-Peters can actually play left back. Now, doesn't mean he's a left back, because I saw some people go, he's right-footed and plays right back. And it's like, whoa, no way. What? No, what? How's that? No, I didn't know that. Wait for someone to understand that meme. Look, he will be usable for us, though. Whereas Marcus Edwards, I feel like we need a better winger than that. Whereas I think Kyle Walker-Peters, he's played some Prem football. He's in the Prem now, obviously, with Southampton. He'll be playing today, no doubt. I don't know who. I think they play away to Newcastle. Don't hold me to that. I assume he'll be playing today. But he'll be usable for us for sure. Absolutely usable. Stylistically, not too dissimilar to what Pedro Porro is. So would then Spence become the left back, or would then Kyle Walker be the left back? We're not sure. But actually, I don't mind the move for a Kyle Walker-Peters. Now, value-wise, obviously, the buyback clause is 30 million. Would Spurs be able to get a better deal? Could you tempt in them saying, look, we want a better deal than that. We don't want to pay the 30 million. Could we throw in a loan deal for a Manor Solomon? If Reguilon can't get a move, hey, how about Sergio Reguilon? You know? Yeah, Chilwell's trash. The green wing post for Odegaard too. Wilson. Oh, yeah. Wilson. I love Friday Night Dinner. I love that show. Do you think the midfielder is going to be an attacker or more of a holder? Well, Andy, let me come to the midfielder in a mix. I want to talk about that in a second, but good shout. Also, great name. Love sight energy, but on the ball, he's poor. Just my opinion. Yeah, but we don't use him for what he does on the ball. We use him for his energy. That's what we use him for. On the ball, that's what we use Basuma or Bentancur for at the 6. Sarr's about getting the ball, moving out to the winger, and just charging. That's all we care for it. And he's great at that. Morning, back from France. See, Simon, glad to have you back, mate. Another 2 in. Yeah, Sarr's great physically, but mediocre technically. For me, he starts on the bench this season. Well, look, he's still very young, guys. He's not 28. He's still in his young 20s. Like the stream, 117 views, 28 likes. The math doesn't add up. Come on, people. Appreciate that, Kamagu. Yeah, like the stream if you haven't. Very much appreciate it. Gets the people of the rest of YouTube to come see it. We've had a blow up recently, which has been really nice. A lot of people have been coming in here and saying how much they love the community. The new people. So, the new people seeing all you guys. They've been shouting all you guys out saying you've got such a good community. It's such a positive community. And that's why they're enjoying these streams, because it's not all doom and gloom. And apparently a lot of people watch other people that are doom and gloom, and that's why they're here. Carter Vickers. No, not Carter Vickers. Does anyone remember Wilson Palacios? Of course we all remember Wilson Palacios. Why would he come sit on the bench? We play 4 competitions. Do you think Porro and Destiny are going to play 60 times a season? Everyone's going to get minutes this season. Loads of rotation. Or a loan deal for Kyle Walker-Peters. Would have to be a loan with a buy option at least. And it has to be a decent buy option for Southampton. Give Solomon his loan and take what Kyle Walker-Peters on loan. Yeah. Newcastle, Southampton. Cheers, Tony. Appreciate that. Reguilon thinks he should be at a top club. Yeah. And I think I should be the hottest man on earth. And I'm not. I'm realistic. That wasn't a shout for Donna to come jumping in there. Is Kyle Walker academy trained? Would you want him back? Walks isn't academy trained, I don't think, because he joined when he was... Did he join when he was 18 or 19? No, Kyle Walker I don't think would be. Because he went out on loan to... Would Walker be academy trained? I really don't know. Walker-Peters is, but Kyle Walker I don't know. Why by Cole? He's when we get Jenny left back. Yes, Cole will play left back, but not in primary position. Being right foot means his crossing is taken away. Daniel, it's because of what we want from the European squad, mate. That's why I say it. I'd rather Patrick Dorgu. Callum Roach will back me up. I've been saying it for months. But with Kyle Walker-Peters and his academy trained, it allows you to get another player into your European squad in the 25. Because if you have less than 4 academy trained players, you have to have less than 25 players in your squad. That's why I say it. Hi from Mauritius. Good show. Hey, Mauritius. That's my first watcher from Mauritius, which is pretty damn cool. Morning, mate. How are we? Edwards and Peters, not for me. Hey, Martin. Martin, how are you, mate? How are you? Okay. Cole plays every game Southampton. Yeah, but then you got to think Southampton won't have European football. They may not get deep into cup competitions. We'll have the same Premier League amount of games, but yeah, also Pedro Porro missed time last season. Destiny missed time last season. He would play, I would say, about 30 games next season. Genuinely. Man, 30? So I think he'd play, let's say he played 15 Premier League games. Let's say he played 8 cup games, 7 years. Yeah, I could say 30 games. Yeah, I could see that easily. Yeah, no change. He means Kyle Walker Peters. Yeah, it does. What about Danny Rose? Danny probably would have counted. He probably would have counted, yeah. I think the window's been okay, but a couple more we'll see. Walker Peters will be a good buy. No, interesting. I'm scared for next season, though. I think defensively will be a lot worse with both fullbacks inverting still. Well, Brandon, I don't know if you know, with the usual back five of Vicario, Porro, Destiny, Mickey, and Romero, we had the 4th best defense in the league over, what was it, like an 18-game spell? That's pretty damn good. It's better than Villa's. It's better than United's and Chelsea's and Newcastle's and any one of those teams. It's better than all those. It's the top 3 that had a better defense than us. A second seed on Ange Ball, you're going to get better for it as well. And a lot of our defensive issues, one, came from players spearing Vicario at corners. Well, that's now a foul for Vicario, so that will help us. Secondly, a better quality attack who doesn't break down every 3 seconds will allow us a lot less counterattacks. So we'll be better for our defense easily. Bakayoko, please. Well, I don't think it'll be Bakayoko. People don't recognize the club train issue we have for Europa. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it. You forgot about Danny Rose. I'm okay. Healing well, thanks. Good to see Martin. Edwards is more viable with buyback clause. He'd be cheap, Edwards. But with obviously Odebear coming in, do we need a winger? Probably not. You know? Next season won't be as bad because Destiny and Saar become club trained. Saar won't become club trained, apparently. That's what I heard. Bakayoko should have been a priority. Eze was never on the Levy list. I think Eze was on the list, but the Spurs wanted to get them down a little bit off that release clause in terms of payment structure, and they wouldn't. Is it just me, but I never heard of Odebear before yesterday? No one heard about it, mate. And it was Sasha Tavolieri who was the first one to say something about it, and it was about 10 minutes before it arrived. People already underestimate our defense. They do. Well, keep resting up, Donna. All right. We need a reliable backup. We need a reliable left back. So I'm sick of seeing Ben Davies playing there when Destiny gets injured. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to get another left back in for sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Carl Peters, because he is reliable. You know, Spence can feature in there. It's not ideal, but, you know, Spurs weren't going to fix everything this window. They had to get rid of so many players, first and foremost, to make the signings work. Spurs probably still needs, thinking about it, a good 5 or 6 signings. So we're not going to get everything that we need, you know? Slank's height will be a good at set pieces too. True, Andy, I agree. We needed a winger that can score goals, though none of our wingers are Odebear. So Sonny can't score goals. Interesting. I don't mean about the rumours, but about the player. Yeah, I get you, Teddy. I get your point as Carl Walker Peters club train, but still already have several right backs, so should get Edwards in if we need club train, as we're still short on right wingers. Well, Odebear will play as right wing alongside Johnson. You still got Kulu as well. And actually, Kulu had more take-ons than Odebear last year. Wait for someone to go, but he's rubbish on the wing. He's better in the centre. Can't see us signing another winger. No, I don't think so. I heard as a release clause expired. It had. I already said it, Callum. I already said it. God. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if we actually end up for Eze less money up front. Payment structure means we end up paying more total. Doubt it, but yeah, well, it's not a shout. It's not too bad a shout. Sonny plays striker. Well, Sonny's going to be playing left wing this season, hence why I view him as a left wing. So yeah, we do have a left winger that can score goals. That's why I said it, mate. Had Sonny been a striker this season, I would have been like, oh yeah, we've only got Johnson, who goal contributions wise was decent. Werner, you know, Kulu, you know. Mikey, obviously, very raw, Odebear raw, but with Sonny out there, we do have a winger that can score. Ben Davies should have been one of the first out this window. The lad is average championship level. No, Ben is a solid Premier League player. Solid Premier League player. Spurs have only signed one player that's a starter, Slanky. The others are kids. Well, Archie Gray will feature in the first team this season, mate. He's a very, very exciting player. What does the end of the release clause mean? It just means the end of the release clause. That's all it really means. I don't think he's a crap winger, no. Maramoso would be good help to offense. Well, the Hermoso being the ability over a couple of positions is nice. Just there's no news on Hermoso. That's the other thing. There's no news on him at all where he's going to be. As it'll be 100 million. Well, he won't be 100 plus million. And if he is, we won't. I wouldn't want Spurs to go near him for that. Werner is crap. Can't believe signing back on loan. That's a disgrace. People got to say these unambitious signs. Yeah, Ange said he wants them. Also, they do not realize he does utilize young players and clearly have amazing top prospects coming in. Yeah. And we were right not to throw youngsters in at the deep end last season. Johnson will have a good season. Hopefully so. Mikey Moore should be ahead of him. Watching from Namibia. Oh, Veggie. Shout out Veggie. Yep, shout. There you go, Tony. Werner suits football and is great depth, so we can sign him for cheaper than what Palace wanted. Apart from Solanke, we are buying young, so Levy, as usual, treating the club as a business, sell them on for profit in the future. So what is happening? Well, Marshall, can you go back on your account, please? It's really confusing that Rudder Instructions is Marshall. Everyone says it's Levy again, but look at how much we spend and how good. Yeah, our net spend is quite high. Right. Talking a bit more, Paul O'Keefe saying that Spurs are investigating two positions in the current window, a defender and a midfielder. So that's interesting. So, because when we've had the Athletic report, the Spurs are still quite keen on a really energetic and attacking, an energetic midfielder. That also could potentially line up with what Paul said about we're still looking at a midfielder. He said at least hopefully one player will come in. Obviously, Asisgal said two. So we'll get 1.5 in. But a defender and midfielder. I don't know. I think, look, for a defender, let's start there. For defender, obviously, yes, we'd like a left back. Yes, we'd like a centre back in there. Ashley Phillips going out loan is a potential. Dorrington, I think, has only recently just come back to some level of fitness. I said Kyle Walker-Peters for the academy trains. If we're going defender and midfielder, then we're not doing the Edwards sort of move. So therefore, if we were to do academy train, then it would be Walker-Peters. Or do Spurs go, look, we're going to go into the season. We're not selling Skip. We're going to hold Whiteman, Austin, and Skip as our 3 European academy trained players. We're going to say Forster is not going to be part of our European squad. We're going to roll with 24. In January, we may look to add and see if we don't get a Walker-Peters or we don't get an Edwards. In January, let's see if we do add one of those, it might change things. And then you might go, well, we're going to move off of X, Y, and Z. Let's see what we can do. I think if you're going defender or midfielder, I think ideally they want one of them to be a homegrown player. Slanky's the alternative to Eze, do you reckon? Well, maybe. Help 100 plus. Yeah, true. Is Hummel still available? Hummels is still available, I think. This one is better. I'm working from my tablet. You can have multiple accounts, mate. You can sign on to your other account on it. We need a defensive midfielder. I don't think the Athletic said that with the Gallagher to mid drill and down. Well, they also said that probably for Jacob Ramsey. That was the other thing they're thinking of. But yeah, I can see Villa keeping Ramsey. Hincapie would be the dream for me. He'd be solid. I think it'll be a midfield, potentially left back, centre back in the winter. Yeah, obviously I think they could go the route of centre back in the winter, but we did that last time and it backfired massively because we lost Romero for a 3-game suspension and Mickey got his big hamstring injury, both in the same game against Chelsea. So then you're down to Dyer and Ben Davies at that time. And I'll say it now, I've always been on this point. You should have kept Davinson Sanchez until the January, just so you had an actual centre-half, because at times we were playing with 4 fullbacks. At least Davinson would have been better for us, at least aerially, because Davinson in the air, whatever you might think about Davinson Sanchez on the ball, Davinson Sanchez in the air was a good defender. I've always said that personally. I've always said that. And I actually think Spurs would have got top 4 had they had at least another centre-half last season. genuinely. But moving on from that, it'd be ideal if we did get another centre back. That's what I would be feeling of, you know. Would I be interested in Joe Bellingham? Joe Bellingham signed a new long-term contract yesterday, so he won't be going anywhere. You have a bad feeling Vicario's going to have a bad start. I don't. I've got full faith in Vicario. I mean, last season they even said he made 0 mistakes leading to goals. That's not bad at all. I've talked about Locatelli. I would prefer Edison. I would as well. Heung-Min and Gallagher will be 2 decent signings. Well, Gallagher's going to he's going to end up at Atletico Madrid. He will wind up at Atletico Madrid. Trust me. That is a deal that will happen. You agree with me on Sanchez? Well, someone has to. It's possible, but outgoings, Ashley stays, I think. Well, Ashley may have to go on loan to fit things in, potentially. Just saying. Need another top goalie. I think we'll see what we got in Austin. But I love Vic. I bloody love Vic. And people going, we need to get a better keeper than Vicario. I then say, well, you've got 99.99999% of all football teams all need new goalkeepers, and that's not functional and doable. With our backup, our 2 backups are homegrown academy trained players. That's why we're not going to move on and get anyone else. I'd rather have Davison as Davies. Oh, there you go. Gallagher's not playing for. No, Gallagher will wind up at Atleti. I reckon we're going to get Locatelli. Well, we'll see about that, John. What about O'Reilly from Celtic? I think he's off to Atalanta, Eamon. I think he's off to Atalanta. We're not going Pickford. We're not going Pickford or Diogo Costa. Centre back in the winter, Vuskovic will have more points to join in February. Well, yeah, that's a deal that'll be close. That'll be a deal that's close. Vicario's a top 5 keeper in the Prem. Agreed. If we go for left back, it has to be Loco, class player, he's not better than Destiny, mate. I'm sorry. I'll have to flat out disagree there. Destiny's the best left back in the Premier League last season. And also, as Callum Roach said, apparently Loco's done his Achilles. So we're definitely not doing that. O'Reilly is a shout. Yeah, O'Reilly's a good player, but I think he winds up at Atalanta. Let me have a quick look at that. Yeah, supposedly that's still a deal that might happen. But yeah, Brighton were interested, but then obviously Brighton have spent about 200 million this summer, so I don't think they would spend any more. O'Reilly be a signing for sure. Being a backup goalkeeper must be the ultimate employment, earns massive wages without having any pressure of performing or even playing. Well, that's why a lot of keepers, when they're about 36, 37, they join a big Premier League club to be like their 3rd or 4th keeper. Good wages, never have to play, no pressure, get to hang out with your mates. And like you're just like, I don't actually want to play. I'm pretty happy where I am. And they do that for a few years. Look at Scott Carson at Man City. He's best mates with Edison. And Scott's like, I don't need to play. I'm good. I'm very happy with my job. You know, Ben Foster, I think, even said for a little while, he was like, he would have happily been a backup goalkeeper for a Premier League side, like a 3rd string, and just help train the other 2, you know? That's what Forster is technically at the moment. And then people want to get rid of Forster, and it's like, read the room. Ramsey makes sense. Makes no sense with Kulu moving to 10 and Bergvall coming in. It's what Ange sees in Kulu. Maybe he looks at Kulu as just a utility guy where he's going to play in loads of different positions, you know? And, you know, with our midfield, they didn't exactly stay very fit all season. And supposedly the club thinks we'll be better this season with our injuries. We won't have as many issues, but, you know, let's only take it on face value with that. The midfield struggled with injury issues last year. Don't think it's worth speculating on Tottenham, to be honest. ITKs look clueless. No one really knows what's going on in terms of signings. Well, the idea that ITKs know everything is overplayed. A few of them have been getting stuff right this season. A few of them. Agree with you regarding Sanchez. Should have kept Reguilon. No, not Reguilon. Not Reguilon. That brother is nowhere near good enough to be a backup at the Spurs. I'd rather Spence play my left back position. I'd rather Mickey play my left back position. He just can't defend. He just cannot, for the life of him, defend. Yeah, he's all right going the other way, but a lot of our players didn't want to pass to him. That's how bad it was getting at one point. Ramsey covers the 8-6-10 and left wing technically as well. We need a backup goalkeeper if Vicks get injured and we're in trouble. Austin and the Tree Force knowing they're good enough. Well, we don't really know what we have in Austin. Like, let's give him a chance. I like Edison. I hope Bentancur plays on Monday. I think Bentancur will play Monday. Yes, by the way, tomorrow we will be doing the preview for the Leicester game. So please join me tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing the preview for the Leicester game. Yeah, we're going to be doing all of the team news. I've waited till tomorrow just in case any other team news comes out. I'm never one of those that likes to do my preview 3 or 4 days in advance. We'll be doing it tomorrow. So join me for that tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking about the game, talking about who I think is going to start, key battles, all the things that I used to do with my previews. We do it again. Lots of players choosing Italy over Spain this season. Italy's league is turning around. Inter being as good as they were, obviously being in the Champions League final long ago. AC Milan, they're still an attractive proposition. Juventus are getting better. Bologna. It's not a bad league. In Spain, it really is. If you're not choosing one of the top 3 teams, what are you really choosing? And that's not a dig at the other teams. It's just how the La Liga has propositioned their league. Almost 200 of us are here. Legends. Yes. Yeah. 196 legends in the chat. Appreciate you all joining me on a Saturday morning, or for some of you, Saturday evening. Obviously, I know a few of you out in Australia. But yeah, appreciate you all joining me. All I'm going to say is shout out Teddy. Teddy's 3rd at the moment in my fantasy football league. Teddy's team. Who did he have? He had Kobe Mainu playing yesterday. He's got 3 points from him. And he got 4 points from Muniz. Teddy, mate, you forgot to change out Veliz and Undav, though, mate. I will say that. I'm not sure about your team, Teddy. I'm really not sure about your team, bud. But yes, I didn't have anyone yesterday. Didn't have anyone playing. So, how am I 3rd? Mainu and Muniz. A lot of people didn't have anyone, or if they did have anyone, they were rubbish. You didn't know how to change your players. You had to go on transfers, and you could have changed your players there, mate. That's how you do it. Is there a better DM alternative to Locatelli? There is. But is there a position where we actually can get them is another question. Sorry, TTJL. I don't actually know what you're saying, mate. Sorry. It's you're speaking a different language. I have no idea what it's saying. Do you think Odebert will get game time soon? I think he'll get game time this season for sure. How soon? Let's give him some time to get up to speed. Will he be on the bench for tomorrow? It depends on if he got registered quick enough. Hang on, I just want to see what TTJO is saying via Google Translate. Just so I have an understanding. These 2 guys have lost some talent, are currently playing during the game. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Bentancur, Bergval plus Madison should be Kulu. Then Kulu, otherwise Johnson. Thoughts though on Kulu, if not in the first 11. I think Kulu might start right wing. Personally. You're equal 36th. Yeah, we got like 70 people in the FPL, so it's pretty cool. He did get registered quick enough. Well, there you go. But yes, we'll see about it. In terms of later, will I do a video later or not? I don't truly know. We'll see what happens. I am intending to go out and have a few drinks and watch the Aston Villa West Ham game. So we'll see. But thank all of you for joining me this morning. Thank you all so much. Obviously, like, subscribe, bell notification, all that jazz. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your mornings. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.